Today for our rural segment, we've got none other than the award-winning radio host of the country, Jamie McKay, with us at the desk. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ryan. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Well, it got you here. And congratulations on last night, by the way.
Well, there you go. There's a lesson in it for younger broadcasters like yourself. If you hang around for long enough, Ryan, you get the chocolates.
Going to have to be there a lot longer. Now, let's talk Fieldays. It's on next week. And are we expecting a big spend up from farmers, particularly dairy farmers?
Yeah, look, I think Fieldays is going to be really positive, and one of the main reasons is obviously improved returns for farmers, especially the dairy farmers, you know, record payout, prospects of another record payout, but you chuck in the government's budget, the investment tax boost or whatever they call it. It's basically being able to claim another 20% of depreciation in year one off buying a major ticket item, and I think the likes of, you know, tractors, utes, four-wheelers, are going to be in hot demand at Fieldays because I guess since COVID times it's been tough on the farm, reduced incomes, certainly way increased cost to running your farm, while some of these farmers, especially the sheep farmers, are probably in positive territory for the first time in, I would say, 3 or 4 or 5 years. I think there's a bit of pent-up spending that needs to be done. You cannot refuse to replace the tractor forever. So I'm picking Fieldays is going to be really positive.
Which is great because the flow-on effects from Fieldays, you know, when rural New Zealand does well, the flow-on effects to all of those service industries and towns is massive, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know what the economists, you know, lay each economist end to end, as they say, you still wouldn't reach a conclusion. But you know, the money goes round something like 7 times. Yeah. So, you know, a dairy farmer from Te Awamutu goes into Hamilton and buys something, and that money sloshes around in the economy for quite a time. And, you know, I remember in the 1980s, Ryan, when I was a young farmer, a battling sheep farmer, and the likes of David Longy and Roger Douglas were saying farming's a sunset industry. We're going to be a tiger economy like Ireland. How did that work out for New Zealand? Look, no matter which way you sugarcoat this one, you know, the primary sector is the only thing that's going to get us out of the economic hole we're in.
Yeah, well, we've been literally climbing on the backs of it for the last wee while. Now, banking, we've had a report this week from Fed Farmers on the state of the rural banking sector. What's the verdict? What are farmers feeling?
Well, to quote the report here, farmers are feeling more satisfied with their banks, pointing towards improved communication, whatever that is, and less undue pressure. So the survey, they did one in December of last year. They followed it up with one in May of this year. Let me have a look at the numbers. Nearly 700 farmers responded to the May survey. 60% of them were satisfied or very satisfied with their bank. But that's a long way off from the peak of about 80%. And I've been campaigning against the banks. It might cost me and my show a wee bit of money, but they've got to pull their horns in a wee bit because I think they've been too tough, not only on farmers, but also on small business, especially when it comes to the likes of overdraft rates. You know, some of them are just straight out profiteering. And I'll throw you an example, and this will possibly get me in trouble again, from the Fed Farmers survey. When it comes to overdraft rates, they've dropped 1%, but so has the OCR. So they're just tracking the OCR down. But there was a big difference in margins that the banks were charging, albeit small sample, 700 farmers. There may have been some disgruntled BNZ clients in there. But Rabobank came in at the lowest average overdraft rate of 7.3%. BNZ was 9.7%. You know, that's 2.5% difference in overdraft rates. And the other things that farmers were quite rightly kicking up against, 19% of them said the bank isn't allowing them to structure their debt as efficiently as possible. Because if you get into overdraft and never get out of it, you're much better off to move that debt to a term debt and pay a lower rate. Right. That's just business 101.
Is the select committee that was set up in part to deal with this actually doing anything?
I don't know, a bit like the grocery review. No, I don't think much is happening there. At least good old Fed farmers are getting stuck in and having a shot at the bank.
And you too.
Well, I'm doing my little bit, but I've got a vested interest, Ryan. I've got a share in a dairy farm down in Southland, and I'm very much hands off. I mean, look at these hands, they're towny hands now. But I was horrified when I found out what we were paying on our dairy farm for our overdraft rate. I thought, what the hell, why are they charging us that?
Yeah, yeah. No,
So I hope they're listening, Ryan.
Well, I hope they're listening
Personal
too.
crusade.
I don't think they're listening to the Select Committee. Now, finally, we'll finish with this. A bunch of Manawatu High School students have switched off their screens and turned on the sharing machines, the clippers.
Yeah, and prior preparation prevents poor performance, and I sent this story to you yesterday, but we had the radio awards, so I haven't actually got around to
You haven't done your research.
No, but I'll wing it. I mean, this is Fielding High,
Yeah.
just outside of Palmy North, and it was in the earlier days known as Fielding Agriculture High, and look, it's famous for producing great rugby players. The Whitelocks all came out of there. Aaron Smith came out of there. It's a great school. Braden Whitelock, by the way, the father of the Whitelock clan, he's been responsible for getting the footy up and running, but they're also a great agricultural high school. And, you know, at the likes of the rural games, they've got these young kids, and they're only young kids. They're 14, 15, 16, 17, and they're learning to share. And I know we're running out of sheep in this country, but to get on the end of a handpiece as I used to when I was younger, and I realised very quickly, Ryan, it was hard work, but it's a great way to make money. And for some of these kids, it's a real professional career outlet for them. So schools like Fielding High School, in Auckland here, Mount Albert Grammar. I can think of St Peter's or St Paul's down at Cambridge. Forgive me if I got that wrong, but we're seeing agriculture having a bit of a renaissance at secondary school level, and good on it, because it's our biggest industry. Why wouldn't we encourage kids to enter it? Make ag sexy again. That's a bit like Trump, isn't it?
Jamie, great to have you on, and
Cheers,
congratulations again. Good to see you. That is Jamie McKay, host of The Country, award-winning host of The Country.